Okay, this is lesson 4 in the project of school management system using TK and TCL and MySQL database server, and this is Rani Ahmed with you. Today we're gonna continue our talk about this project, and it's about and today we'll be moving from how to add a student or a teacher to the database, okay, to our school records, and this now, as you see, is our student or teacher script. Okay, now the edit script, as you see, is there's a one for the student and there's a one for the teacher, and it's very much the same. All I've done is that, just if you watch with me, okay, see, it's just the replacement of the word student and the word teacher, just like this. Okay, you replace student by teacher. Okay, so you get the same script. So now I'm going to close the teacher script, okay, and going to talk only about the student script because it's pretty much the same. Now, this is how our program works. Okay, now those checkboxes are the search conditions, okay, that I can combine, okay, like student ID and student name and student address and telephone and date of birth, okay, in that sequence. Okay, so anyone you love to skip, there's no problem in skipping them. Okay, and here I have the corresponding entries for the student ID and the student name and the student address and the student telephone. And if you, for example, there's also some kind of not some kind of, it's just there's validation every entry. Okay, for example, student ID must not be empty. You got also the if you put something like characters, okay, not numbers, also it will complain to you. And if there is no checkbox is checked, okay, it will list the whole database. Okay, now the whole table of the students or the teacher, of course, not to forget. Okay. Unless we forget there, and there's also those option menus, which are the days of the month and the days of the number of months in the year, 12 months. I have here the years, okay, starting from last year till now, okay, till 120 years earlier. Okay, and if I double click on any of the listings here, which is everyone is a student listing, which is the correspondingly is one is a student. Here I have the student ID and the student name and the address and the student telephone. Okay, I know this is not really good. For example, let me get this one. This one is nice. Okay, so for example, that's James Bond, somewhere in the 1995, he was born. Yeah, just like something funny here, doesn't matter. Okay. But this is how our program works. We will learn how to create this window and how to, do you see the whole script. I'm going to read it all for you. Okay, now first, okay, we're going to show you what did I do about writing the code for the entries here. Okay, and as usual, okay, you must have the widgets code written at the bottom of the code. Okay, see, at the bottom of the script, starting from here. Okay, I use WM resizable. It's just something I'm going to explain, but I starting from here till the bottom. Okay, all this is just the widgets code for the main window, not the one that's popping up, not the pop-up window. And the rest of the code is just all of this on the top. Now yes, I'm just thinking what I'm gonna say. Here, where, sorry if I'm just using you. So yes, starting from here, we're going saying that I have my main window, which is named as the dot. Here is the root window. I have its box, its window, not resizable. It doesn't have this one that maximizes and restores the window, to a smaller size. So why? Because I did put the width and the height are not resizable by setting them here as zeros. And I created like an alias for pressing the button enter, which is which I called my enter. You should use also those two angled arrows to differentiate it from the original ones coming from TCL inside, from TK, TCL here, from TK built-in key names. So the KP enter is the one at the number pad, which is the one at the right of the keyboard, similar to a telephone dial. And the return, which is the usual everyday enter, which is at the heart of your keyboard. Now also I created check buttons. Now I'm going to talk about one of them, and the rest is similar. So I have a check button named .student ID check, and here I'm saying the text that's beside the checkbox. This is the label just beside the checkbox. You don't need to create another label. A label command, using the label command here to create a label for the checkbox. It has a built-in one, and then you have the variable, which is the global variable holding the changes in the checkbox, whether it's checked or not checked, on or off. And then there's an entry, student ID entry beside it, which is this one. And I'm saying that I have to bind the enter, my own enter, the usual enter, with the student ID entry. So if I press enter here, it will move to the next one, and the rest is done from same thing. This one, and that's it. So the focus moves from one to the other, accordingly. So because when I bind my enter, with this, I said execute the following, which is focus, move the focus to student name entry. Now if you notice with me, I'm using always the nomenclature, which is underscore ent, just for you. When you read with me, you'll know that this is an entry. By using, for example, maybe a checkbox, I'm using chk like this. So you'll know that's a checkbox. So this is just the way to not jump up and down the code. Go up for back the code and go down the code section. What's this and what's that? So this is the variables here. The name condition and the student ID condition. Are the ones that I'm going to check, and I'm going later to use as global variables. I will be using the command global just to read the contents of the checkbox, whether it's on or off. If it's on, it will be 1. If it's not, it will be 0. So moving now to the date of birth checkbox, and I made this is the checkbox for it. And then I have those TK option menus, okay, which is one of them is date of birth day and date of birth month, okay, and the ones that I highlighted are the global variables that will hold the one that the value that I select in the option menu. So if I say, for example, this is 8, now the OB day will be 8. If I change this to, for example, 9 or 8, it will be 8 again. Let's say, for example, 9, it will be 9 again. Okay. And why did I use option menu? Because the option menu here is static almost. Okay, so it has the 31. You don't need to add more, and you have 12 here. You don't need to add more. Okay. Usually combo box is much more suitable to add as much as you like in a much more easier way. Okay, you don't have to go through menu commands, okay, which are really annoying here. Okay. Now I am building my own combo box here, which is set the current year, which is the which is using the command named clock, and the clock has a subcommand named format. Okay, now I'm going to format the clock as by getting the current seconds since 1970, okay, number of seconds since 1970, and then I use the subcommand format here. Okay, after taking the output of the value, the output value of this command, okay, and just grab the year of it. Okay, if I'm going to use the day and the month, also add the year and the month of those seconds since that date. Okay, since 1/1/1970. Okay, 1st of January 1970. I will have to use also any date, like a complete date. You will have %y and a %d and a %m. Okay, small or capital, I don't know, but you just check them and you know, okay, which one is the correct one. So, and you have to read the manual too. But just for us, we need in this example the year. So I start from the current year and making a like a temporary list, which I will fill, okay, with the numbers starting from not like the current year now is 2012. The year before, which I started counting from, because this is how I'm counting. Okay, so set I expression, which is its current year minus 1, so the current year is 2012, and then you will be looping downwards, okay, by decrementing here, increment I minus 1, which means decrement I by 1 every time, okay, in the loop, and then set every time, okay, the list of years. This is the temporary list of years list, and I will use the linsert to insert at the end of the list, okay, the current count in the I. So I will go starting with, for example, let's say 2011. First time, this is list of years. Next time it will be 2011 plus 2010. Then the next one 2011, 2010, 9, okay, and so on, and 8 and 7 until you go 120 years backwards. Okay. So every time I get because this is how the linsert works. Okay. So every time you get a new list of years, okay, by inserting the older one, inserting a new value to the older one, and then taking the output of the linsert and resetting the list of years again with a new list. Okay, you just read the manual about linsert, you know. Now, this way, after doing this for loop, I'm saying TK combo box, which is this combo box, and I'm saying that from the dot I'm creating this student date of birth year part, okay, which is the combo box, and the values of the list combo box and the lists inside it, okay, the list here, the menu here, okay, should take the values from the list of years list, okay, variable, the list variable list of years, this one. So I'm just passing it to the combo box through this option, and then I'm setting the value, the width, and then I'm saying that the text variable date of birth here. Okay, here it's not that important. Okay, but we just added it for convenience someday. Okay. But until this highlighted one is enough, okay, you can use later the widget subcommands, okay, so to access the current value selected, okay, the currently selected value. So then I'm creating a list box, dot search results, okay, with a width of 70, okay, I have 70 as width for the list box. Maybe you have a long address, okay, and a long name, okay, so you can fill it. And I have the search button, and we call the command search student. So this is the text label over the button, okay, search student. Now also I bind the list box with a double click, okay, this is how you say double button press 1, okay, so the left button of the mouse, okay, the first left button of the mouse, okay, if you double press it, okay, it will pop up this. Now I'm not gonna talk about the details inside, just gonna go to wait until we reach it, and then after I explain that searching procedure, search student, and then here I have all the way down to position the widgets inside my main window, okay. So the rows and columns are here, okay. Now I must move to the search part, okay. Now first of all I will try to hide the other functions or procedures, just for us not to be confused. Now if you press the search button, or search button here, it will go to this procedure and start reading and processing this procedure, okay. Now first of all I'm going to say global MySQL handler and date of birth day and date of birth month, which are here the MySQL handler, okay, which is the connection, and of course, as we said, you should use always at the start of your code package required MySQL TCL. You must have this, must have had this installed, okay, and set MySQL handler, okay, and this is how you connect to the database, okay. You can change the parameters, localhost and user and password, okay, with whatever. This is, by the way, local in my machine, so it doesn't matter, okay. There's no security issues at all. So, and this is how I select my own database, which is my school, okay. Now every time I must use this variable $MySQL score handler, just to access the database. Now the DOB day is the option menu value, the currently selected value in the option menus, okay, of DOB date of birth day and date of birth month. And then I have the conditions, the student ID, the name, those are the names of the variables, okay, that hold the checkboxes, okay, values, whether they are on or off. Next, what I'm saying here is get the values inside that are inside the entries, okay. So using the entry command, subcommand get, I'm saying, for example, here set the ID as, like, making an alias for what I'm reading from the widgets, okay. So for easy use, because those are very long names. So I'm saying, like, dot student ID get, okay, from the entry, and here, for example, the name dot student name entry get, also set it in the name, same for the other, same for the telephone. Now I have to delete everything, okay, to in the list, just to make sure that like, if you had an earlier search, like if you did something like this, just clicking like this, let me say like one here, or say like here, if I just click everything like this, okay, you will see that it will add, okay, also another entry of ID1, okay, and then like put the whole list again, okay. It will like append to it all the things, so, append to the older search result another result. So I don't want that. I want the search result be refreshed. So that's why I've used the delete command here from 0 to end in the list. So I delete all the entries that I mentioned inside the list before adding and appending to it. Now I start now with building the conditions in the SQL query. Now the SQL query must look like this. Let's say let me open another editor for easiness, okay, and okay, must also increase the fonts, okay. So so you should have like select, for example, star from a student where, okay. Now to write this, I must first, to write the where part of it, I must have something like and, okay, condition 1, and then you should add the next one, and condition 2, and so on, okay. So to add this, okay, I must use this way. Let's go back to our code. First, what I'm saying is, if my student ID condition is set as on, is checked, okay, so it is 1. If it's checked, it must be 1. So if it's 1, okay, then I check and do a validation over here, okay. So I'm saying checking whether the length is not 0, okay, I'll skip. If it's 0, I will not do any searching. I'll just quit the procedure using the return inside here, and also I will check if this is not a digit. If it's not a digit, okay, I will also complain about it and quit the search. Okay, and if everything is okay, what I do is set search condition as and student ID, still student.id, because this is how it's read from the database. Okay, and say get the equal, okay, $ID. So I must check whether the student ID equals to this ID. Okay, and I always append the older search condition to the condition building statement. Okay, to do and student.id and student.address and student.date of birth and student telephone number. So this way I'm using the set, okay, as if you are incrementing numbers, okay, as if you're saying set I as older I plus 1. Okay, so this is the same. So next thing is checking for the name if it's empty, and the same thing, I'm just using the older search condition and I'm appending to it. Okay, now I'm going to tell you after we finish the conditions what's the like here. Okay, and then I move, okay, to append also the address similarly, and similarly I check for telephone number, okay, if it's a digit or empty. Okay, it's not a digit or empty. So, and also I check for the date of birth. Okay, and also the date of birth I must check whether the month is 2 or 29. If it's 2 and the day is 29, sorry, okay, or more. Okay, like 30 or 31, they are not acceptable for February. Set date of birth here. I'm just taking the date of birth here from the combo box. This is how I take it. Okay, like any text entry. Okay, so I say dot student underscore date of birth here, which is the name of that combo box widget. Okay, get the subcommand over here, and then I'll pass it to this variable date of birth here. Now I check if it's empty or not, whether it's selected or not, and then because I left the freedom for the liberty or the freedom for the user, okay, to type his own year, okay, because it's very long way maybe to find it down in the menu. And here I'm saying that the date of birth is this sentence, okay, which is the value of the date of birth here dash the month dash the day. Okay, remember the date of birth, month and date of birth here are global variables. Okay, and the date of birth here is taken from this. So in MySQL you must save it as year dash month dash day. Okay, and this is our search condition. Okay, so I append to it the other search condition, and here I'm writing also appending as and student.dob equals this dob variable, and of course because it's a date, the date looks like a string, so it must add single quote, okay, in the SQL statement. Just to mention that this is a date. And in the end I set the search query as select star from student where true, and search condition here. This is how I am inserting the search condition, and then order by student ID. Now I have to enlighten two things. Okay, I'll highlight two things. First of all, you must save also a space here, okay, just to give a space, or even make a space even here more, just for your safety, so it doesn't make any SQL complaining, okay, that there's a syntax error. And why did I use true? Because the first word that you will get in your statement, it will be like this. So it will be like this, okay, condition 1, then like this all the time, and. So even if you skipped all these, okay, you will be always left with this and. So, and with what? That's the question. So that's why I add the word true. So I'm saying true with anything is always true. Okay, it's okay. It's the condition is okay and it passes. So that's why I add the word true. Some people use number 1. Just instead of the word true, they add 1 here, like this. Okay. But I love to use true. Logic. It's better. And then I say order by student ID. Okay. Next, setting the search query result as MySQL handler, search query, okay, and list. So here I'm turning my search query into the database and feeding it to the database, okay, and getting the results in a list fashion, okay, not flat list. Flat list means list everything, every row, okay, all the rows on one sentence, on one line, okay. So they will look like all of the data as one flat list. But when you do it as a dash list, it means like every row has its own separate list, okay, in that result. So the result will have a list, or will be a list of a list, of many lists, okay. So it will be a list of many lists. Next thing is I'm checking whether the search query is empty or not. Okay, so if it's empty, there's nothing. Why should I proceed with filling the list box here? Okay. So imagine if I said like my student is like 3, something like this. I don't have this, I'm sure. So instead, like I set this condition. I want to search by student ID only, and then it will tell you there's no results found. And this is what I've done here. Okay. No results found. It's empty. Okay. And it will return. So when it returns, it will not fill anything because I did not go through this command. Okay. The search results list insert. So to fill it, I have to use the for each, and I just get a row variable, okay, that I will iterate over, okay, or iterate using it, not over it. I will be iterating over the search query result, okay, which is this one, which I got from this query here, and then I'm saying that in every row I have those fields, okay. Now the field number 0, which is the first one, it's the ID, okay. The next one is the name, then the address, then the telephone, then the date of birth. So this is how they are ordered inside the database, okay, and their student table, okay. And what I said is dot search results insert at the end, because what I did is first when I started, okay, remember I started with clearing the list using this, so the end is the start now after clearing, okay. But it's better to say also at the end always, just make sure that you are really at the end inserting, okay, and take it as a habit, okay, because you'll be inserting most of the time at the end of the list. Now I have a student ID, okay, and I have space here and I have a comma, semicolon, not a comma, okay, and space, and then student name, okay, and the comma, and so on. So this is how I'm saving and showing the data. So I have student ID, then the name, then the address, then the student telephone, then date of birth. Okay, so from the row I get, each row I use the index just to extract the from the row that column in the table, okay, according to its order. So as I said, as you have column number 0, which is the first one, is the ID, and the last one is column number 5, which is number 4, according to the index, okay, student date of birth, okay, and I am iterating and I am inserting at the end, okay, because I must insert at the end, I'm not inserting at the top, okay, because 1, then like 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, like this, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this you are adding. You're not adding all the time at the top here, okay, because it will be reversed. It will not look like as it's supposed to be. And I'm showing the result, as I said, by ordering them by student ID. So I'm looking at the number here, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how they are ordered, okay. Now this is how we show the data, okay, inside that student table and display, and according to our search results, okay, and search conditions. Now moving to showing the element in the list, okay, in a pop-up window, okay. Now when I click or double click, okay, this has no meaning now because we're not seeing it, okay. So when I double click, it will call the show pop-up window function, which is named here selected student form, and it will send the row, okay, selected row. Cool. Now how did I send this to do the rest here, okay. When I go back down to the bind over here, okay, you'll see first of all I'm checking whether there is the pop-up window, which is .top, it's named .top here, okay. We'll see how did we create it or build it, okay. So I'm saying that if the window of the .top is there, okay, don't do anything. So don't do anything, okay, if you double click on the window, on the main window, on any entry in the list box, okay, so it doesn't pop or allow another entry to be edited at the same time, okay. This is the way I'm writing my code. Now, and this is easier, by the way, don't have to go through many things at the same time, it's just very annoying. Then the next thing is set selected item index in the search results list. So the selected item has an index with respect to the list box. It's not the student ID or whatever, it's just the position inside or the selection position. Like for example, if you look here, this is like 0, this is like 1, 2, 3, like this, okay. So if say 0, 1, 2, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is number 8 here. So if I select here, okay, it will give this command over here will give me number 8. If I select, for example, here, it will give me number 1. Okay, so the search result list box, I'm saying use the subcommand named current selection, COR selection, okay, and give me the selection index, okay. So I'm saving it inside this longly named variable, okay. Hello. Now sorry, I split last book and but it doesn't matter. Now if I say like here, I'm saying if there's no result, okay, in the selection, maybe there's an empty list over here, okay, and you've selected. When you select, there's nothing, okay, there's no index. So what you should do is just quit the double click, okay, and don't proceed with double clicking and showing the pop-up window. Cool? Now this command .search results list get, okay, what at this index which we found and selected and had from this command, okay, at that position, for example here on the 7, okay, it will give you the contents of the row number 7 here, numbered with student ID number 7, okay. If I click here, it will give me the row at ID number 3, okay. Here gives me the row at number 11. So the contents will be given, okay, to this variable. Which one? Okay, contents are at the item index. So it will be a long list, okay, and this row will be sent to this procedure, which is the selected student form, and I will pass it through this variable, okay, which is this variable, the same variable here, okay. Then I go, because I double click and everything passed, okay, passed all the checkpoints, okay. So press like I open this just to show it, expand it, okay, and this is our row, which is now, okay, after I double click, it is holding the value of contents at the item index, because this is a parameter for the procedure selected student form. So first of all, I am taking all the data from the row by saying split the row, okay, into the list variable named splitted row. Now if you look with me, okay, and you notice that this is the way that the list box is listing our data. In every row there is the ID, comma, the name, comma, the address, comma, the telephone, comma, or semicolon, okay. Like again, there's the ID, there's semicolon, there's the name, there's the address, okay. Every time I'm separating with a comma or a semicolon, okay. So this is similar to a CSV file, okay, comma separated values file, okay. Like the data on every line is separated by a comma or a semicolon or a tab or whatever. There's a separation character that you are using. Now by splitting the row, okay, using this, okay, I'm getting all the time a word. For example here, if I took a splitting where, for example, James Bond, okay, so I'm saying this is number 11, and with the space I have the space and James Bond space also. This is part of the whole word in every splinter or splint, okay, or every split here, okay, I don't know how to say it, but you know, like in every part, okay, of the splitting, okay, it should have also the spaces mentioned. It doesn't trim down. So that's why I use the command string trim, okay, and there's also one other thing, that when you split, okay, every item in or every part of the splitting, okay, is part of the splitted row list, okay. It's part of the splitted row list variable, okay. So I have a list variable name here, list splitted row, and I am splitting, and I am holding the parts of the splitting. Okay, now the pieces of the splitting. So to get every piece, okay, of the splitting, okay, I use the index, because now the split row is a list variable, so I use the index. So everyone, okay, is must be gotten or taken through the index. So the first one is number 0, which is if I select, let's go back here to generate one. So the first one at index 0 in the this splitted row, okay, will be 11. Okay, and the last one is date of birth. Okay, and I'm trimming, okay, because string trim, any string that you mention over here, okay, it will take off, okay, and remove all the spaces and tabs and all these kinds of spaces that you know, okay, from the size of the string. Okay, and I'm saving them inside the corresponding values, which is student ID, student name, student address, telephone, date of birth. Okay, now if you use this command solely without doing anything else below, it will show like a window having no widget on it. Okay, no widgets on it, so it doesn't have any widget, it doesn't have any button, doesn't have anything. Okay, it will look like the wish. Okay, like, okay, it will look like when you type wish in your command line, like here. Okay, type like wish, like here. Okay, it will look like this, nothing on it. Okay, but it will be a top level window. So I must fill this. Okay, now instead of talking about dot something, I'm saying from now on I must talk about dot something. Okay, because the dot top is the master, okay, of my all other widgets, okay, which belong to the dot top. And using the command top level, we create that pop-up window we talked about. Okay, which is this one. Okay, similar to this one. Okay, yeah, it did not pop up because I said before that this is disallowed. Okay, it's already having an open window. Okay, now so this is how I am saving stuff inside, or the data, sorry, inside the window over here. Okay, this is how I'm grabbing them from here and putting them into here. So you notice that this is not, the student ID is not editable, but the rest is editable. Now look with me, what did I do? I said I have a label here, okay, which is top, because the student ID label must belong to top. So everything will be, as you notice, everything over here is top. Okay, top. Okay, sorry. So it will be top. So dash text. Okay, and I'm saying here that this is the student ID, which is this one. Okay, and then this is the entry. Now I have this entry, okay, belong to dot top. Okay, and then here, okay, I'm clearing it, delete 0 till end. Okay, so I'm clearing everything inside it. Okay, making sure that it is clear. Okay, then I'm saying insert at the start of the entry, okay, number 0, the student ID. Okay, so I'm using the student ID from splitted parts, this one, okay, and I'm pasting it, if you want to say, inside the entry, and then I'm reconfiguring, okay, the entry to be almost disabled, which is read only, which means that inside the program, okay, I can't, as a programmer, later after I set the state as read only, okay, I can't set it with another thing, but I can just only read it, okay, and even the user, he can just copy it and he can change it. And if you look, if you notice, okay, that here I can't delete anything also, I can just highlight it and then I can paste it somewhere else, okay, like here somewhere, something like where here, example. Okay, so you see that there is a file here. I put it within a comment so it doesn't make troubles for me later. So this is the same, very much the same, okay, and I made like a change in the focus, okay. I think I should have added another layer name to the address, okay, yes, this is correct, and oh yeah, and this is what should happen dot top here, because it must belong to the dot top and the dot top of the student entry, not the student telephone entry, which is the one on the main window, okay. So don't be confused. Now I'm building the date of birth parts, okay, which is, you know, the last part, which is the student date of birth, okay, which is this one. But this is also must be splitted into three parts, because it's written, okay, as, you remember, it is year dash month dash day, okay. Okay, so it is like year so year dash, okay, see the dash, month dash day, okay. So I must also again do a splitting over the variable student date of birth and use the dash to split it, and then set date of birth parts, okay, to get a list of the parts. So I get the number, the name and the address, sorry, the year and the month and the day, okay. So here this is the year part, this is the month part, and this is the day part, and this is now date of birth parts is a list, so I must use the index, and then I get the first one, the next one, the third one, okay, which is got consequently the year and month and day. Now I set the option menu, okay, of the date of birth day, okay, by saying the dot top of inside the dot top I have the student date of birth day, and this is its global variable, which I said is date of birth day top, okay, there's underscores between, so date of birth underscore day underscore top. And also I said that let the first one to be shown is not number one, but the date of birth day part, okay, or the part of the date, which is the day, and then made the same thing here about setting the date of birth part, okay, month, okay, to be the first one. So when you just pop up, it will be shown directly facing, okay. You don't have to search for it. So say if I say like double click, see if you double click here, like again this is just one, Okay, so if I say double click over here, okay, it will show exactly the same one. So this is 1995 here, and the month for and 23rd. So see if you, so that's all about it. Okay, can stop explaining this one. Okay, now moving next to the current year. So I'm saying the same thing. Okay, building same list box, but inside the dot top, and I'm naming it again as dot top student year. Okay, and this one is very important to set the year that you taken from this one. Okay, you use the dot top dot student underscore date of birth underscore year, okay, which is this list box, and I use the command set to make the text box inside here. I mean, let's be down. So to set this value over here, okay, to be the year part directly, so you see it basically. You don't have to search for it. Okay, and of course you must show it the feature, okay, or the registrar that this is the information that you got from the database when you double click it, and you want to change it because you want to know what's now and what do you want to change it into later. Now I have two buttons as you see in the editing, okay, one for the update and one for the delete of the student. Okay, and then I'll start with the update student button. Okay, and this is my command. So it will call the function update student, and it will take the variables from the student it will take the update student command, okay, by also passing the student ID again, and the name and the address and telephone parts from the, because I want to update everything, even if it's still the same. I must update all because you don't have to leave anything in that student ID not changed. Okay, you select them all at once. You don't have to select this, change this, or not change this. Change it all at once. It's the same. It won't cost us so much in the database. Okay, once it's found, it will be set. So I'm taking that from the top, from the pop-up window. Okay, the top level window we call it in TCL terms, or TK terms. And here I have the other button, which is the delete button, and of course both of them, the update and the delete buttons, are inside the dot top, okay, and inside the top level. And then I say this is text for the button, which is delete student, this one, delete student. And then I say this is my command, and I'm sending the ID, okay, and deleting the student. Okay, so I go to update student. I first collapse this, oh sorry, close this like this, and then I say update student, because if I click update student I must go to this procedure, and I'm sending the ID, the name, the address, and the telephone as we said below. Okay, of course, because I must connect to the database, okay, I must use MySQL handle, same connection, okay, and I must use the date of birth top and the year and the date of birth day, okay, top, okay, and the month, okay, top. So the month, the year top, the month top, and the day top. Okay. Now I'm taking the name and the telephone and the address by trimming them, making sure that the user, when he typed, that he did not if he set any spaces by mistake, I'm removing them. Okay. Next, because this will save us heaps of kilobytes, okay, inside the database. Okay, many spaces for nothing. What the heck for? Okay, so I'm trimming down, getting rid of the spaces at the sides of the values of the name and address and the telephone. Okay, and our usual validation. Okay, and here I'm taking the date of year top like this, getting it. I think this is not important, but I'll leave it, doesn't matter, because I use this value over here. This is how I'm taking what's inside the combo box. Okay, and I'm checking everything. Okay, whether it's empty, whether it's a digit, you know. Okay, this is what I always wanted. It's not empty, and there's a year, and there is also the year must not be alphanumeric. That must be numeric only. Okay, so this is a string is digit. Will take the role of checking whether this value is a digit. And then this is how I'm rebuilding the date of birth again. So I will be saving it in the date of birth here. Okay, and then update student, set student name here, and then see I'm saying this is how we use the update query, just to update things inside the database. Okay, so I say update student, set the student name, and this how we save it between a two single quotes. I set the variable name, of course. This is it. This is the name, and this is the address, and this is the telephone. They are all strings. Okay, and the date of birth. So all of them must be between quotes. Okay. Yes, and inside the database, I must remind you that I am taking through validation that the data of the value of the telephone a number, but inside the database I wanted a string. Okay, so I'm checking whether this is this thing is totally a number. Okay, like and having that leading 0. Okay, is saved with the number, because if I just said in the database that this is not a varchar and it is an integer, okay, the leading 0 on the left, okay, will be omitted, okay, and it will not be saved. Now, to say which student is saved, I'm using the student.id ID. Okay, so equals to the ID that I took, okay, through this one, which I already passed to the selected student form. Through here. So this is how I reminded you, just reminded you that's how we did pass the variables. Now, yeah, just let me close the form like this. Okay. Then this is the update. Okay, and I just get the query after I built the update sentence, okay, statement, SQL statement, and then and I just put it inside the MySQL exec. Okay, because here I'm using an update and a delete and an insert. Okay, I must use the exec. If I'm using the select, I use MySQL SEL. Okay. Now, when everything is okay, I just say that this has been updated. Okay, and then I destroy this window. Okay, so if I just say update, I don't want to change anything, keep it. You just like this has been updated, and then it will refresh your list over here. Okay, so if I just give you, for example, this one, I say his name is Cylon. Okay, when I update, okay, has been updated, and you'll see this is now Cylon, not R. Good. Now, and it's refreshed through search student command, which is the first one we talked about. Okay. Now, the delete, and yes, there's also the like I haven't talked about, but I'll tell you about it after delete. Okay. Now, I have a global MySQL handler I'm talking about on handler here, and then the connection, and then I'm saying that if I want to delete, for example, this one, if I say delete, it will ask you whether you want to really quit. Okay. Oh, I should change it, not really quit. Okay, really delete. Okay. So if say let me fix it first. Okay, it's better, so you know what I'm talking about. So here it's saying, okay, that you want the really delete. Okay, so it must be really delete. Okay, I will run the program again. So if I said like search student, and this is my database, I took the students. Okay, and I say really delete, so it will ask you really delete. Okay, so as usual, you notice that I'm using the TK message box, and it has only the button OK inside here, but here I'm having a yes or no. So what I'm using here is icon question, so it's setting the question to be the no, okay, yes, no question, and this is the icon question over here. Okay, and the type, as you saw, type yes, no. So if you have type yes, no, it will give you a yes, no button. Okay, as here. Okay, and then this is the detail, which is the sentence mentioned inside this one. Okay, select yes if you are sure that you want to delete this student. Okay, and yes, the TK message box command, okay, if it's executed, okay, it will return a value. Now, if it's a yes or no, okay, it will return one of the two values, okay, which is the word yes or the word no. Okay. Now that's why I must use the command switch. Okay, and this is how I'm saying you switch on answer. Okay, so this is my switch command. Okay, and through that I'm saying that if it is yes, okay, so I set my delete query, which is set delete entry. I set delete query, which is delete from student, where that student ID is that ID taken from here, which we sent, okay, in our student form by taking the same fashion of the update student, okay, by taking the how say no, okay, by taking the value from the entry here. Okay, then I will execute it, MySQL exec. MySQL handler delete query. Okay, this is just a variable here. I just mentioned that to be delete query, so just I'm telling you that so you don't think that it is fixed as such. Okay, or it's like something like a keyword. No. So this is my message that it has been deleted. Okay, and then I will destroy the window. Okay, the same fashion you say update student and tell you that it was deleted. Okay, and if it's no, okay, it will tell you that it did not delete, and it will raise the raise and focus the top level window, which is the pop-up window. Okay, so if I said like that and I say delete, I say no, it will raise this. Now, by the way, it does not raise here because it must be always on top. Okay, so it must be raised here. Okay, I thought it was not raised. It is raised. So, and I'm saying return 0. So don't do anything. Okay, so quit the procedure. Okay, and this is all about our program. Now, going back to the like. Okay, that's just a simple SQL thing. Okay, let me use when you type something like this in the select statement, which is like this, and say this is my value, log value, and percent, another percent, and just like this. Okay, so if you say like my name or student name, okay, is like this. So this means that if, for example, it means that you're searching for things like starting with anything and ending with anything, while the value, okay, is in between those two anythings. Okay, so like for example, if I want to say, let's see our program. Okay, so let me close this, it doesn't have any meaning now. Okay, now if I just say, for example, by checking for the name alone, okay, I'm searching for the name, so everything having AH inside it, okay, and press search student, okay, it will give you a Rani Ahmed, okay, because AH is inside it. If I said, for example, ZI, okay, search, you'll see Ziyad is there, okay, because Z and I are there. Okay, so it will search for anything having the name, okay, having the two letters Z and I consecutively. Okay, they are consecutive to each other. Okay, and that's all about our program, and thanks for watching. I know it's a long explanation, but I must finish the explanations as such. Okay, thanks for watching again, and good luck, and please subscribe and comments.